This is the KUSI News at 11.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Lauren Finney.
And I'm Alan Denton. In tonight for Ross Becker. Thank you for joining us. The DUI driver convicted of killing a beloved community activist in Mission Beach learned his punishment today.
KUSI's Sasha Fu was at today's sentencing where several family members gave emotional testimony. Sasha?
A day of tears, a day of apologies.
Words cannot describe how much we feel your loss.
This was the day 24-year-old Jonathan Domingo Garcia would learn if he would be going to a state prison. His crime, driving under the influence of alcohol, pot, and Xanax, and killing 68-year-old Maruta Gardner. Gardner, a well-known and respected community activist in Mission Beach, was cleaning up graffiti on February 12th, the night of the fatal crash. Gardner's family and friends were there for the sentencing. They included close friends like Nancy Geller.
We did have a phrase for her. It was called Marutarized, because once you met her, she could convince you to do anything.
But the focus for much of the hearing was on the defendant and whether he should be sentenced to probation. His defense attorney argued that Garcia was deeply remorseful and had no previous convictions.
He's not that. He hopes his family believes that what he's done, that others will learn from it, not make the same mistakes.
In one of the most dramatic moments, his mother turned directly to Gardner's family and offered a tearful apology, sinking to her knees.
He did not mean to hurt anyone. I am very, very, very sorry.
But the prosecutor asked the judge to hand out the maximum sentence of 15 years, describing Garcia as callously driving away from Maruta Gardner as she lay dying in the street.
This was not just bad judgment. The events of that day were criminal.
The defendant himself wept through most of the hearing and vowed he would never repeat these mistakes.
I know I can come about and do the right thing if I ever get a second chance.
In her decision, Judge Kathleen Lewis agreed with the probation recommendation that this was a case that required prison time. The judge ordered the midterm sentence of 11 years. Because he has no prior felony convictions, Garcia could be released after serving just half the time. The friends of Maruta Gardner say the defendant should find a lesson from their loss.
Jonathan, please choose to make your life a memorial to the one whose life you took, Maruta Gardner.
Both the defense and the prosecution did agree on one thing. This tragedy has been devastating for everyone. At the Hall of Justice, I'm Sasha Fu, KUSI News.
And a 13-year-old boy is recovering at Rady Children's Hospital tonight after being stabbed in Lake Murray.
KUSI's Ashley Rodriguez joins us live from Lake Murray with more details right now. Ashley?
Police say it was all fun and games until it wasn't, leaving a little boy in serious pain at that bus stop.
Hearing from all the people on there saying that no, they were just playing with pocket knives, throwing it at their feet. I guess it's a game for kids. I'm like, what kind of a game what are these kids learning today?
Police say it was horseplay that put a 13-year-old boy in the hospital with a stab wound the size of a centimeter.
The victim was at the McDonald's. They were horse playing. All of a sudden, he feels his back, the back of his shirt all wet.
The sight frightening to witnesses. Police say the young teen stumbled across the street in pain to the bus stop.
They arrived on scene and found a juvenile laying on the sidewalk over here.
Why are they bringing pocket knives to school?
Janet Carey lives just feet from that bus stop. She saw the commotion and couldn't believe the reason behind it. It's a safe neighborhood, she says, but the flashing lights of police cars are becoming more common.
Scared for the kids around here, and they need more to do besides get into trouble and do stupid acts like that. I mean, come on. And I think they need to just calm their butts down.
And police have not said whether or not it was a pocket knife used. They questioned the little boy at the hospital as well as his friends, trying to figure out exactly what happened. Live in Lake Murray, Ashley Rodriguez, KUSI News.
Ashley, thank you. Well, we've been following the Bogart fire, which is still burning in Riverside County. The fire has grown to 1,000 acres and is only 10% contained. It started around noon today and is burning near Beaumont and Cherry Valley, which is southeast of Los Angeles. Evacuation orders have been lifted for a senior mobile home park and some homes in the town of Banning. One firefighter was injured. No word yet on property damage.
Wow, and that was a huge fire for a while there as well. Of course, the hot temperatures are creating some dangerous conditions.
Absolutely.
Excuse me.
Absolutely. And certainly hope the rest of the week could improve, helping out those firefighters there. Mark is standing by with a look at our weather. Mark?
Yeah, and it does look like temperatures in Riverside County are going to cool off a little bit as we head into the latter part of the week. We're looking for high temperatures to go from right around 102 to 105 degrees in and around the fire to in the lower 80s. And humidity levels go from the teens to the 30s and the 40s. So really the firefighters are going to be helped with the weather conditions as far as combating that particular fire. Tonight, temperatures in the 70s, 68 in San Diego, 67 in La Mesa, 65 in Ramona, 77 Descanso, 75 in Julian, 98 is current temperature in Borrego Springs, and 62 in Mount Laguna. All right, we are going to have some cooler temperatures arrive before the end of the holiday weekend, and we'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. Alan?
All right, look forward to it. Thank you, Mark. A gruesome discovery after the remains of 5 people were found when a fire tore through a senior center in Temecula. That fire started yesterday morning at a one-story assisted living facility on Cruz Way. Now, neighbors say the flames spread throughout the house. One witness even heard the floor cave in. Crews snuffed out the flames in less than an hour. And tonight, investigators are calling the fire suspicious in nature, and they're working to determine the cause. And a body of a man was found alongside a sidewalk in downtown San Diego. Now, this discovery was made just before this morning near the Hilton San Diego Bayfront. The body was found under a blanket by a San Diego Harbor police officer. The medical examiner says the man had no sign of injury, and it is believed he died of natural causes. He was believed to be a transit, maybe in his 40s or 50s. Tonight, his name has not been released.
Singer Chris Brown has been arrested following a standoff at his San Fernando Valley home. Earlier this morning, a woman called 911 after the singer reportedly pulled a gun on her after an argument over jewelry. Officers responded just after 3 this morning and tried to serve Brown with a search warrant, but he refused to come out of his home. According to TMZ, Brown threw out a duffel bag that contained 2 guns and drugs. He was taken to jail this afternoon and booked for assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, a sewage spill in Mission Bay could result in massive fines for the city of San Diego. We're talking about fines of more than $65 million.
The spill happened back in January during the floods, and after all this time, the water police are still trying to figure out exactly how much sewage went into the bay. KUSI's Dan Plant has the story.
It's the largest man-made aquatic playground in America, not to mention a major crown jewel for America's finest city. But Mission Bay has seen its fair share of nastiness.
When a hillside slid and impacted the pipe and broke the pipe.
She's talking about a sewage spill that happened during the floods in January, a spill that we're still learning about.
Even a rupture like this that they're saying was accidental, they're saying there's no way that it could have been prevented. You know, it can cause a lot of harm, public health impacts because it's untreated sewage, as well as environmental impacts.
Turns out that accidental spill lasted for 5 days and dumped millions of gallons of raw sewage into the bay.
I think their first report was on the order of 108,000 gallons, and that was just based off of what they found out on January 10th. By the end of that day, they realized that the spill had been going on since January 5th, and they recalculated, and that's when it came out at 6.75 million gallons.
Even though this spill happened back in January, sometimes information like this flows a little bit slowly. The city had to file a report with the Water Control Board at the state. Then the state looks into it and releases their report. That's what happened. Now that we know, the city is facing fines of up to $10 a gallon for every gallon that went into Mission Bay during that break. That means city taxpayers could be shelling out $65 million in fines for the city's mistakes.
There are California laws and there are federal laws about polluting waterways.
The Water Control Board is still investigating exactly what happened and how. As the state's water police, they do have the power to bring down the hammer.
You know, it's just a reminder to all of the cities throughout the state that they need to be mindful of protecting their sewer collection systems.
Now, even if the city does face a massive fine, there could be a little bit of a silver lining. Some of that money could come back to the city of San Diego for future water projects. This way, things like this might not ever happen again. At Mission Bay, Dan Plant, KUSI News.
Well, protesters are expected at the groundbreaking of a new naval training center in Coronado tomorrow. The Naval Training Center will be built along Highway 75. It's also the site of a 7,000-year-old Kumeyaay burial ground. The new facilities are of several construction projects to be built over a period from now till 2024. The training center, though, should be finished by the summer of 2018. Maintenance on the Coronado Bridge began today. One lane on the northbound side of the bridge was closed from 9 in the morning until 1 this afternoon. Now, the same lane closure is expected to take place 2 to 3 times a week through late 2018. Caltrans says the closures are needed to allow crews to deliver materials and perform maintenance for the $20.6 million project. Crews will be painting steel surfaces and constructing traveler systems inside that bridge.
Smoking e-cigarettes at any of California's state parks and beaches could become illegal. A bill proposing the ban was sent by lawmakers to Governor Jerry Brown earlier today. The measure would create a fine up to $250 for those caught smoking a cigar, cigarette, or vaping device, or disposing of remains of a cigarette on a state beach or park. The bill comes in the middle of concerns regarding health and the ongoing wildfires.
Donald Trump's campaign staff are causing more controversy than their boss. Coming up, 3 of Trump's top aides make comments they now regret. But how does Trump feel about their poor choice of words?
And a major leader of ISIS was reportedly killed today in Syria, according to the terrorist organization. Now, other ISIS members are pledging revenge. We'll have those stories and more when we come back.
The Hillary Clinton email scandal isn't over just yet. The FBI will release the report it sent to the Justice Department. The report recommends that no charges be filed against the former Secretary of State. This all comes following a number of requests from news organizations. The report could be available as early as tomorrow.
Well, another day of controversy for Donald Trump, but this time it's his campaign staff involved. Last night, prominent Trump surrogate Pastor Mark Burns tweeted this photo of Hillary Clinton in blackface. Burns, an African-American, is usually the opening speaker at most Trump rallies. He said he didn't mean to offend anyone. He just wanted to draw attention to Clinton and quote, pandering to minority voters. And now Trump's top campaign staffers, CEO Steve Bannon and campaign manager Kellyanne Conway, are coming under fire. Bannon for his comments over the weekend on a radio talk show concerning Clinton, and Conway for her video of her talking about rape.
The women that would lead this country would be feminine, they would be pro-family, they would have husbands, they would love their children. They wouldn't be a bunch of dykes that came from the seven sister schools up in New England.
I want the best prepared military, regardless of gender. But I'll tell you, if physical fitness, if we were physiologically, not mentally, emotionally, professionally equal to men, if we were physiologically as strong as men, rape would not exist. You would be able to defend yourself.
Well, so far, Donald Trump has not commented on the controversies. However, his son Donald Jr. said in an interview today that his father was not happy. And despite the controversy with his staff, Trump is still expected to make a major speech on immigration in Phoenix, Arizona tomorrow. The Washington Post is reporting that the Republican nominee is considering going to Mexico City to meet with Mexico's president just hours before his speech. Trump's appearance comes as questions about his stance on illegal immigration have deepened after he said he was open to, quote, softening his policies toward undocumented immigrants.
2 Republican senators had victories in their home states today. Senator Marco Rubio from Florida and Senator John McCain from Arizona won the primary elections in their respective states. In polls conducted by CNN, both candidates are shown to win against their opponents. Now the two will have to wait until November for the general election.
After my race ended in March for the presidency, I was prepared to become a private citizen. And I was not just prepared to be so, but I was excited about what that meant. Time with our family, other opportunities. But I just couldn't be at peace with the idea that we were going to not just potentially lose a Senate seat, but lose the balance of power in the Senate at this critical moment in our nation's history.
Very confident about the outcome today, and we look forward to moving for the election in November. But this group of young people has certainly inspired us.
Now, also in Florida, Democratic Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz beat challenger Tim Canova. Canova, a law professor, was supported by Bernie Sanders. A big victory today in the fight against ISIS. One of the group's leaders has been killed. Mohammed al-Adani was believed to have been killed while inspecting military operations near Aleppo, Syria. Al-Adani was the spokesperson for the terrorist group ISIS. A senior U.S. official said that coalition forces conducted an airstrike in a town near Aleppo, but the U.S. has not yet confirmed the death of al-Adani. Only ISIS is confirming his death right now. And other ISIS leaders are now pledging revenge against the U.S. for al-Adani's death.
Well, after 52 years of war, Colombia might finally see peace between its government and its biggest rebel group. Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos signed a decree calling for a direct popular vote on the government's historic peace deal with the FARC rebels. On October 2nd, Colombians are expected to vote whether or not they support the final agreement to end the fight. Santos is defending a permanent ceasefire with FARC just days after the rebels agreed to the deal.
The European Union has ordered Ireland to send $14.6 billion bill to Apple, all for unpaid taxes. Now, the tax ruling is the largest EU has made involving a single company. The EU says Ireland and Apple had come to an illegal deal where Apple had to pay virtually no taxes over the course of 20 years. Apple is expected to appeal that decision. Its CEO says Apple is being unfairly targeted.
A mountain plateau in Norway, known for its picturesque landscape, was turned into a grisly scene after a storm. After a lightning storm over the weekend, over 300 reindeer were killed. Officials say a herd of reindeer was killed by a single strike of lightning. They say the animals were most likely electrocuted when the lightning struck the wet ground. However, some people say something else killed the reindeer. Theories range from mad cow disease, a chemical spill, even aliens. Necropsies are going to be performed on most of the reindeer to determine an exact cause of death. So sad and
I
bizarre.
know it is.
To
I don't know
see
about
that.
aliens, but it's hard to believe that a lightning could kill that many.
I would hate.
You are a skeptic, huh?
I am a skeptic on that one. I disagree with the prognosis on that.
Yeah.
Or the.
A lot of people were talking about it on social media today. About
pictures been all over
they aren't
social
believing.
media.
They aren't believing lightning either. So.
No, it seems unreal to me that that could actually happen. But. Anyway,
closer to home. What's going on?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
No lightning here, right?
I'll have to do some investigation before I come to my final conclusion. I hope you had a great day today. We are going to cool off a little bit as we head into the Labor Day weekend. Temperatures are going to get down to the lower 80s and upper 70s in the Inland Valley. So here's what it looks like outside. We are going to be under the influence of high pressure, and high pressure is going to begin to weaken, and as it begins to weaken, that's going to allow this area of low pressure that is developing along the west coast to begin to strengthen. It's going to bring in the onshore flow, and temperatures are going to start to cool off for us. Not so much tomorrow, but as we head into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and also Sunday. All right, marine layer comes back, pushes inland a few miles, and then it goes away pretty quickly. By around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, most of it's gone. And temperatures tonight in the 60s and also the 70s. 66 in Hamul, 67 in La Mesa, 70 in Poway, 73 in Del Mar, 69 in Carlsbad. 68's current temperature. Winds out of the west-southwest. The high today, 77. The normal high, 77. And we have 2 hurricanes out in the Pacific. Both of them will affect the Hawaiian Islands. Both minimal hurricanes, not direct hits, but they will begin to affect the Hawaiian Islands, the state of Hawaii, as we head into this weekend. We're looking at about Category 1, Category 2 to the north with Lester, and then Madeline will move to the south and will not be a direct hit, but the state will receive showers, thunderstorms, and some strong winds. And also a couple of tropical depressions out in the Atlantic and the Gulf. Here's your forecast powered by AccuWeather. Highs are going to be in the 70s, overnight lows in the 60s, and 74 Saturday, 73 Sunday. In the inland areas, 91, 91, 85. Look at those temperatures on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Lower 80s. It's going to be a great Labor Day weekend. Mountains look good, highs in the 80s and the 70s. And then in the deserts, highs look really nice as well. Highs are going to be in the triple digits. Are y'all working Labor Day?
I'm going to be right here.
Labor Day is for laboring, right?
Right.
Yes, that's what I do.
That's what we keep telling ourselves.
So we're going to be here. Right.
I look for the opportunity to work. I was born. Some people live to work, others work to live. I'm in the former category. You would be in the latter. Let's talk sports.
Joey's first day, and Matt Kemp revisited. Sports next.
hey, my wife passed away 7 years ago, right? It was a tough day. The sun came up the next day, the world kept spinning, people kept going to work, and that's what we're going to do.
A football season can turn in a blink of an eye. Just ask the Minnesota Vikings. They woke up Tuesday morning thinking they had a shot at the Super Bowl. Then their starting quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, blows out his knee, torn ACL, dislocated kneecap among the injuries, all occurring during a non-contact drill. The injury so severe an ambulance was called to the practice field and practice was canceled. His season is over. 15-year journeyman Sean Hill is now the Vikings starting quarterback. Good luck in Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Chargers continue to work out. Tuesday with the newly signed Joey Bosa. Rick Willis right back at Chargers Park for that story.
Joey Bosa's first practice was uneventful to say the least. No shoulder pads, no contact, but his post-practice interview was solid, courtesy Joe Barksdale.
Spent some extra time with Coach yesterday and going to spend some extra time today, and I'm sure throughout the rest of the week getting up to pace. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing to get up to speed on?
Is he still doing jumping jacks?
As for his playing status on Thursday,
we've got a good idea of what we're doing, but I'm not going to disclose that right now like the rest of the team. We have a plan on how we're going to play each player and what we want to get out of each guy moving forward.
While it's highly unlikely we'll see Joey Bosa in preseason game number 4, one guy we will see is Dexter McCoyle, who showed up on film versus the Vikings with his 11-tackle performance along with a forced fumble.
I think it made me more versatile as far as being able to show different aspects of my game, as far as being able to cover a man, also being able to play in the box and blitzing and doing everything else that I did in Canada. So it was a great thing for me, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
But his performance has caught the eye of both players and coaches.
So we call him Big Body. We call him Big Body Dex, man. He's 6'4", 225, 230. And he's a guy that just comes in and works. He keeps his mouth closed. He goes about his business the right way, and he loves the game of football. And you can tell by how he performs. If he has any questions, he'll run by me, and we stay honest with each other. I tell him to stay honest with me as well, and I try my best to help him.
From Chargers Park, Rick Willis, KUSI Sports.
All right, so the team had to get down to 75, 76 technically because they have a roster exemption for Bosa, who just came into camp. The big news on Tuesday, Brendan Oliver placed on IR, and quarterback Zach Mettenberger, who just never quite panned out, was let go. The team must get down to 53 names by Saturday. Meanwhile, we go to Turner Field. Braves are averaging a half run more ever since acquiring Matt Kemp, not that they needed on Tuesday. Edwin Jackson getting the start. Boy, the third inning, a nightmare for him. 10 Braves come to the plate, 5 cross the dish. Jackson would never see the 4th frame, and Evander Holyfield, who was in attendance, never sees the 9th inning. Anybody going to make fun of that guy? We go to the board. Pods fall to 8-16 in the month of August as they get beat by the Braves 7-3. This is their final stay in Turner Field. The Braves will be moving to their new stadium or new ballpark some 20 miles away in next season. So concludes our look at sports on a Tuesday.
Why is it so cute that Evander Holyfield was just kind of dozing off there?
He's got to be what, in his 50s now or 40s?
Probably taking a power nap, I guess. I don't know.
But you're right. Nobody's going to pick a fight with him still.
No. You make fun of his ear?
No, not at all. No, wouldn't go there.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You're watching the KUSI News at 11.
The Naval Medical Center San Diego has a new leader.
Captain Joel Roos will succeed Captain Jose Acosta. Acosta is moving up to the position of lead medical officer for the San Diego-based 3rd Fleet. He held his former position for the past 2 years. Captain Joel Roos says he is proud to be back at such an incredible facility.
Shipmates, it is good to be home. I'll tell you, it's great to be back amongst friends and family and all these great shipmates that I've had the privilege and honor to serve with across the years, and to be back here at home for me.
Captain Roos is the 43rd naval officer to lead Naval Medical Center San Diego.
Congrats there.
Yeah, you bet.
We'll be right back. Well, could your baby's IQ level come down to apples and oranges? New research done at the University of Alberta studied data from around about 700 children.
Yeah, you never know. It might be true. It found that women's daily serving of fruit while pregnant increased their baby's intelligence level 1 year after birth. But researchers say the findings are best seen as a suggestion. So I guess one of those things, time will tell, huh?
Another study
that may counter itself in another year.
May or may not be factual.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Good Morning San Diego begins at 5 tomorrow morning.